Welcome, everybody, to the Basketball Sessions Podcast, a podcast where we talk about what's happening in basketball around the world. And in this particular episode, episode number two, we're going to be talking about the PBA and the news surrounding the PBA as well. So sit back, relax, because basketball is in session. Welcome, everybody, to the Basketball Sessions Podcast. Hello, everyone. My name is Klein. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the pod, or basically the second session, if you will. I always appreciate everyone who's supported, followed, liked, shared, and subscribed to the pod. And if you haven't, you can just go to the YouTube channel, Basketball Sessions Podcast, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we have a new episode that we upload. So you can also like and follow the page at www.facebook.com/basketball sessions pod, and then share the podcast to all of your friends and family. So for the second episode or the second session of the pod, let me talk about Philippine basketball. You know, as a Filipino basketball fan, I was first exposed to basketball through the PBA, or the Philippine Basketball Association. And for those of you who don't know the PBA, that's the professional basketball league here in the Philippines. It's the first professional league in Asia, and the second oldest professional league in the world next to the NBA. But unlike the NBA, the PBA is a commercial league. It's not based on cities and towns, but it's based on the commercial product that the company team owns. For example, most popular team in the league is the Barangay Ginebra San Miguel Gin Kings. They're a product, or it's a gin, that's what they are promoting, or that's the product that they are promoting, or the company's promoting. And basically, that's also the same mascot. So for more than 40 years now, the league has been popular to Filipinos due to the stars, of course, or the stars that play on each team. The young and up and coming players from the different collegiate leagues in the country, after finishing their collegiate careers, all aspire to move up to the PBA. And that has been the pathway for players before, and probably one of the reasons why the league started to be confident. And with that confidence, of course, the league became complacent. The last few years, the league has been slow in adapting to the changing times. The last couple of years, fans have been spoiled for choice. There are now a lot of options for fans to pick on in terms of premier professional basketball entertainment. The NBA has entered the Asian market and has been expanding their reach. Other Asian countries like Japan, Taiwan, and Korea have their own leagues, which have been blossoming as the sport of basketball in these countries are on the rise. The Philippines has always had basketball as the main sport in the country. Filipinos are crazy about the game. You look into every barangay or town, chances are you'll see a basketball court set up with players playing even barefoot. And that's been well documented, that the country is crazy about the sport. So why is it that the Premier Basketball League's popularity is declining in the country? It's in the country even that loves the sport. Well, sure, other sports are becoming popular. That's one factor. And that's not a bad thing, of course. We don't want to limit the sports that uh, people love. Definitely, we support that. But that's one of the factors only. Another factor, of course, is of the recent pandemic that definitely hurt the sport because you're not allowed to play games, definitely. But even before the pandemic happened, the league's popularity has been waning. I think it's because of the current setup of the league itself. The league is not set up to entertain fans anymore, but it's more geared towards profit now. Of course, it's still a business, I get that. But Filipino fans are knowledgeable about the game. They know that the league now is like an exclusive club for team owners. By the way, are just a number of members as two major conglomerates have practically duopolized the league. Another issue is that Filipinos or Filipino fans have with the league is that the issue of lopsided trades. And those particular issues ties to the same issue of farm teams, quote unquote farm teams. Wherein one team from a specific conglomerate trades a player to those supposed to be independent teams, and what they get is not of equal value. That's one of the things that Filipino fans really know or recognize with the game of basketball now or with the PBA. There are a lot of issues now with the league contributing to the decline of its popularity. Going back to my point about the other Asian countries having a rising popularity in the sport, a lot of our young players now are and have been recruited by these countries to play on their own leagues. This in turn drains the talent pool that we have and that the league can tap into for new players. Because, of course, if you're a basketball league, players get old, definitely. And then Filipinos are usually have a lot of talent when it comes to basketball. And they can tap into that, or that's where they get their new players, new blood, so to speak. But the problem is, though, now with the other countries recruiting and trying to get players, the players are now opting to leave the country and play elsewhere, play overseas, basically. I mean, you can't blame the players for taking their talents elsewhere. If you're being offered a lot more to play overseas, you would definitely take that opportunity. And as a professional basketball player, you actually only have a limited number of years where you're at your peak or the best playing years of your career. So definitely you would take advantage of that opportunity if it presents itself. Now, all I'm saying is that there are a lot of changes that the PBA has to adapt in order for the league to basically bring back its glory and popularity. I think one of the steps they can take is to, well, increase the salary cap. That's one, because it's well documented that the other countries are luring or trying to lure players uh, with more money, definitely. And the PBA's salary cap is basically capped at what, around 450,000, 420,000, the maximum. And the other countries' teams well, they offer, well, due to the fact that uh, those are in dollars, and definitely if you you're working overseas, that's like triple the money that you'll be getting, and that's just minimum because they also get perk with that, with the contract that they get. So who would want that, or who wouldn't want that? I mean, if you're a young player that's trying to earn money, maximize your earning opportunity, and you get offered that, why wouldn't you accept that? And then you can actually just go back here in the country and play in the PBA if you want to. So why wouldn't you take it then, right? So definitely the players have really tried to think about it. If you're going to be offered that much, wouldn't you take it? It's for your family. It's your livelihood. That's why they're called professional basketball players. They need to earn that, or they need that. That's what they earn. That's what they feed their family with, or that's what they use to feed their family with. Anyways, yeah, going back, I think that's one of the things that the PBA can do. I mean, increase the salary cap, at least in order for them to at least match the offers that these players are getting overseas. And then another idea is that they could try to go the NBA route. Well, this is personal. I mean the NBA route, which is like to link teams with cities and maybe provinces, just like what the defunct NBA league before. I mean, they did that before, wherein teams were based on cities or provinces. Now, given the fact that that league folded, they could try to adapt that. And I mean, if you're really wanting to model yourself off of the NBA, then why not try to do that? That actually allows them to get a specific or get a same type of setup that the NBA already has. Because it's not only gonna increase their reach in terms of fan bases, it's actually gonna generate more fan interest and affiliation as well to the team. Look at what happened before with the NBA. And right now with MPBL, the somewhat semi professional league that we have, they also adapt that type of uh, setup wherein a team is based on a particular city or a particular province. Their fan base is big because most of the fans are affiliated with the team because they live in that province. That's their team. They can call that their team, their own. And they could probably try to allow other teams as well to join the league. That's one of the other ideas that I'm throwing out there. Because adding a team or adding more team to the league, it will definitely dissolve the control of the two conglomerates that I mentioned. Their voting power is going to be dissolved because other teams are going to come in to be able to vote in the board. And that actually also prevents the issues of having lopsided trades. It'll prevent that from happening, and more talent would be spread out to other teams, hence parity in the league, which is what all of the fans want when it comes to the games that the PBA are producing. Now, all of these ideas are, of course, just my own ideas. And I definitely want to improve the league. I want to see the old PBA where the fans are engaged and it's basically the talk of the town, not the NBA. Because nowadays, people, when you talk to basketball fans, when you talk about the NBA, they know more or they're more knowledgeable now with the NBA rather than the PBA, which is supposed to be the league here in the Philippines. And I think it'll also improve the national team, which ultimately is the goal, of course, especially now or especially this year, where we're going to be the host or one of the hosts of the FIBA Basketball World Cup. We want to show the world that the Philippines is still the best basketball in Asia. That's what I think. How about you guys? What do you guys think about the PBA, the rules, the updates, or what are the things that they could improve on so that the popularity of the league becomes more popular or popular again? Leave a comment on the channel and on the page. All right, we're going to stay with the PBA and let's talk about the recent news in the league. One of the news recently was the signing of free agent Matt Bello to the Rain or Shine team. It was reported that Bello signed a 1 year contract with a monthly salary of at least 300,000 pesos. Mac Bello was a former Gilas special draftee and a very promising talent until injuries started to derail his career. And now, under Coach Yang Yao, Bello has an opportunity to rejuvenate his career somewhat, basically coming from the Meralco Bolts, which rarely used him or rarely had a use for him. So now in Rain or Shine, he would get that opportunity as what coaches or Coach Yang Yao said. And he has to work for it, of course. He'll get the opportunity, but he has to work for it, basically. Yeah. And then, of course, the PBA on tour continues. That's the off-season tournament that the PBA is holding. With the league trying out the coaches' challenge in these games. If the league approves the rule, each team will be given one challenge per half, and a successful challenge allows a call to be reversed. But if unsuccessful, it'll cost the team a timeout. That's what the coaches challenge rule is, which they're trying to pattern that again with the NBA because the NBA already have that coaches challenge. And then lastly, the PBA opens this upcoming October, but this year will be different. It'll start season 48 with the Commissioner's Cup, which is usually the second conference for the league. Now, this is to give way to the participation of Barangay Ginebra, the defending Commissioner's Cup champions, and the reigning Governor's Cup champion, Talk and Text Tropang Giga or TNT, to the home and away EASL tournament this coming October. It'll start with that. Now, the Commissioner's Cup is set up with imports or reinforced players with a limit of 6'9" and below. And the Hong Kong based Bay Area Dragons will once again be a guest team in the Commissioner's Cup Conference. Then after that, the Philippine Cup will start by January of 2024 and then closes the season after that, as the PBA will only have two conferences this season to give way, of course, in the hosting of the FIBA Basketball World Cup and the other games that Gilas will be playing as well. And that's it for today's session. Tune in next week for another episode here at the Basketball Sessions Podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe to the pod. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lord God. Thank you, everyone. Peace.